Of the Conor Benn business that's been going on then? What's your take on that?
My take on that is very simple. If you think you have to take any kind of performance enhancing whatever to increase or be a better fighter or whatever it is he seemed to think he may or may not have done, then I believe that he's been caught not once but twice, then take his licence away. Because you have to send the right message out to the rest of the people that are out there.
I don't know what's going on with him and his personal life. You know, that's on him. You know, I'm minding the business that pays me.
Conor Benn's world has come crashing down. Arrested after failing a third drug test, and just days before a possible rematch with Chris Eubank Jr., the bombshell shook boxing to its core. Instead of headlines filled with fight hype, Benn is drowning in scandal and shame, while Eubank stock only keeps climbing.
When you fail a drugs test, you don't get 50-50 split.
No. No matter commercial power pulling, no.
You don't get 50-50 split if you fail a drug.
Former world champion Duke McKenzie didn't hold back, tearing into Benn's excuses. He said it plain, giving up your license is as good as admitting guilt. Once is a mistake, twice is suspicious, but 3 times? That's career-ending. And just like that, the scandal torpedoes Benn's credibility right before the Eubank rematch, leaving Chris looking cleaner, sharper, and more prepared than ever to take center stage.
Done. Now, the fact that he's given back his licence to the British Boxing Board of Control, who, in my opinion, are the best governing body in the world, bar none, it's kind of like a proof of admission, certainly. And for him to do what he's done, you know, they're talking about contamination, right? So if you've done it once, then you got caught out, then you do it again. It can't be contamination, can it? Because he's been caught twice for doing the same thing. So if it was me, take his licence away.
Johnny Nelson couldn't hide his shock, calling for an immediate inquiry into Benn's disaster. The news spread like wildfire across the sport. As Benn sinks deeper into controversy, Chris Eubank Jr. rises untouched, his marketability stronger than ever. The contrast couldn't be clearer. One man scrambling for excuses, the other focused on greatness.
There is going to be, there needs to be an inquiry straight after this, why, what, but that's why I'm here.
Chris Eubank Jr. has made it crystal clear he doesn't need Conor Benn to define his legacy. The offer's still there, but if Benn keeps drowning in scandal, Eubank walks away without a scratch. Fans see the split-screen reality. Benn in handcuffs, Eubank in control. One career collapsing, the other climbing.
It's no message. The offer's been sent, and you know, you either take it or leave it. And if you leave it, then I'm going to be great either way.
Is it done forever if this is a no this time?
I'm not going to say that. You know, the fight's never done forever. As long as we're still breathing, and the fight is going to be of interest.
And then came Eddie Hearn, stepping in to defend Benn with a plea for patience. But to many fans, Hearn sounds like a desperate man clinging to a sinking ship. Calling Benn innocent after 3 failed tests feels laughable. The boxing world isn't buying it. No one can protect Benn's shattered image now. Meanwhile, Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't need excuses or sympathy. His discipline speaks louder than any promoter's spin. Proof enough.
And when you see the facts, I believe that Conor Benn is innocent. Maybe it's because he's my mate, and maybe it's because you back your mates. Maybe it's because I've seen more than you've seen, both in his eyes and on the paper. But all I'm saying is give him an opportunity, right, for things to be heard. And in this situation, someone said the other day that sometimes when you fail a drugs test, it's not innocent till proven guilty, it's guilty till proven innocent. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really make sense. But his case has to be heard, and everybody deserves a chance to have their case.
Duke McKenzie hit a raw nerve, calling Conor Benn's disgrace a slap in the face to his legendary father. Nigel Benn built his name with blood, sweat, and respect. Now, his son has dragged that legacy through the mud with repeated drug failures. Fans feel the shame. It's not just about Conor. It's about a name once feared in British boxing being tarnished. And while Benn hides behind excuses and promoter protection, Chris Eubank Jr. must be laughing inside. He's stayed clean, he holds a moral high ground, and his reputation only grows. This scandal hasn't just killed a fight, it's wounded a family's pride.
It's just wrong, in my book. But you know what? I also think that, you know, what he's done, it's like a slap in the face for his dad.
Simon Jordan and Spencer Oliver echoed what most of the boxing world is already saying. No more chances for Conor Benn. Once could be forgiven, twice raises suspicion. But 3 times? That's career suicide. Gonski summed it up best. This isn't only about punishing Benn, it's about protecting the sport itself. If fighters believe they can cheat and escape with a slap on the wrist, boxing's integrity collapses. Meanwhile, Chris Eubank Jr. thrives on discipline and resilience, and that's why fans are rallying behind him. As for the rematch, at this point, Eubank versus Benn feels like nothing more than a fantasy, because Benn's career looks finished.
Listen, I've always been strong on that. I've always been strong on the fact that I don't believe in giving them a second chance.
You're basically saying no 3 strikes and you're out.
No 3 strikes.
2 strikes and you're out.
No.
1, you fail a test and gone ski.
Absolutely, because I just believe then that moving forward, people would think twice about doing it. If they think, well, you know what, I'll get a second chance anyway.
Frank Warren laid it out bluntly. The Eubank versus Benn fight is a non-starter. Legal battles, failed tests, arrests. The circus around Benn has poisoned what could have been one of Britain's biggest rivalries. Fans wanted a throwback classic, a war to remember. Instead, they've been served scandals, lawsuits, and shame. Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't need this mess to prove himself. He can step into the ring with clean opponents and still deliver massive nights. Benn, on the other hand, has become boxing's problem child. The penny has dropped. This isn't a rivalry anymore. It's a tragedy.
Let the penny drop that the fight could never go forward. And some of the stuff that's come out since about people being, the board being sued and something, and so forth, is just a non-runner. It's crazy.
Duke McKenzie didn't pull any punches. He exposed just how overrated Conor Benn really is. McKenzie tore down the myth. Benn isn't a massive puncher, not even at welterweight. Yet he bragged about knocking out Chris Eubank Jr., a man who has proven his chin against some of the toughest in the division. That's not confidence, that's delusion. When they fought, Benn's wild swings, head down, and reckless style revealed the truth. No precision, no respect. Compare that to Eubank Jr., calm, disciplined, sharp in defense, composed under pressure. McKenzie is right. Benn embarrassed himself trying to play the tough guy. He's not Nigel Benn, not even close. His father built a legacy on respect and clean wars in the ring. Conor has thrown us into chaos with arrogance and scandal. The irony? Eubank is now carrying the Benn name on his back by exposing just how fake the son really is.
Style Conor Benn. Conor Benn's not a massive puncher, not even at welterweight. So really, he's kind of mugged himself off a little bit by saying, I'm going to knock this guy out. He didn't give Eubank enough respect. Like I say, he was throwing shots at several points in that fight, and he wasn't even looking where they were going. It was just like head down, just winging the shots over.
Smith summed it up best. Boxing deserves honesty, not smoke and mirrors. Fans expect 2 men stepping into the ring on equal ground. Talent, training, discipline, no shortcuts. That's why Conor Benn's scandal hurts so much. 3 failed drug tests leave fans questioning everything. Was his power real? Were those explosive nights natural? Supporters feel cheated. As Stephen A. put it, Benn's credibility is gone. Contrast that with Chris Eubank Jr. Never failed a test, never hid, building his name on grit and resilience. That's why fans trust him now more than ever. The bottom line? If Benn fights again, suspicion will always follow him. But Eubank? He's clean, proven, and ready to carry the sport forward.
Powerful individual who can get exposed by a boxer because every shot he throws, he's trying to make it a power shot.
Adam Booth painted the real picture. Eubank Jr.'s legs may have looked heavy, but his ring IQ carried him through, while Benn relied only on grit and desperation. Booth admitted Benn showed heart, but heart doesn't erase a career clouded by drugs. Fans keep asking, how much of Benn's speed, power, and stamina came from natural talent? And how much from shortcuts? That's why no one buys the better next time talk. Better how? Clean this time or dirty again. Meanwhile, Eubank Jr. doesn't need excuses. He adapts, fights through adversity, and proves he belongs on the big stage. If a rematch ever happens, Ben wouldn't walk in as a proud son of a legend. He'd step in as a disgraced fighter, fighting for redemption. And Eubank would enter carrying respect, control, and the aura of a man who never needed shortcuts.
Box anymore because his legs weren't working. He was throwing a lot of shots, but nothing had any real power or snap because he didn't have it in him, and so he couldn't force his size advantage on.
Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew said straight, the Eubank versus Ben rematch shouldn't even happen. And he's right. How do you justify a fight when Ben's stamina, mindset, and entire career are stained by failed tests? Boxing isn't just punches. It's honor, endurance, and proving yourself through clean wars. Eubank Jr. has done that. He's gone 12 hard rounds, shown durability, and fought with pride. Ben? He's a question mark wrapped in controversy. Bellew pointed out the obvious. Even if Ben shows up, physically, mentally, and morally, he's not fit for this fight. The credibility gap is too wide. This isn't a rivalry anymore, it's a canyon.
Cannot happen.
We don't know what stamina and what engine he's got in him. Really.
It's not about the stamina and the engine, it's more about the thought process and gaining that experience of being there and doing it. Okay. It's like when you go into your first 12 rounder, no matter how fit you are.
Conor Benn's collapse has changed everything. Once hyped as a fiery son carrying his father's name, he's now the fighter fans don't trust. A man with a permanent cloud over every performance. Meanwhile, Chris Eubank Jr. has never looked cleaner, sharper, or more respected. If Eubank wins a rematch, he doesn't just beat Ben. He buries the scandal forever and takes ownership of the legacy. But if Ben somehow pulls off a shock, it won't erase doubt. It'll spark more questions. Was it clean? Was it real? Was it earned? This rivalry is no longer about punches. It's about trust, respect, and who boxing believes in. So I'll ask you, are you backing Chris Eubank Jr. to finish this saga once and for all? Or do you think Conor Benn can rise from the ashes and prove everyone wrong?